After over a decade, repeated aborted attempts, and most of the fan base giving up hope for an official conclusion, Samurai Jack finally received a 5th and final season in 2017, this time making the leap to Adult Swim to account for the show's now mostly grown audience. Reactions were mixed, with some fans calling it a perfect long-awaited finale, and others thinking it's a tone-deaf, disappointing mess. And sadly, I'm in the latter camp. Yeah, I'm gonna be upfront and say I don't like a lot of this season, so if you don't want to hear a negative review, skip the rest of this retrospective. And there's a lot to unpack, so I'm gonna break my under a minute rule and probably hit the maximum shorts length for most of these. The first episode, or episode 92 as it's known to account for the large time skip and possibly adventures in other media we've gone over, starts off so well. A parent and a child who can only talk through visuals being cornered by darker, more sinister-looking beetle robots when suddenly a masked motorcycle warrior shows up and saves them, going all Gears of War on the robots. And it turns out to be Jack himself, finally embracing this time period's technology and strangely using a gun instead of a sword. Both the battle and the backgrounds are very accurate to the original show style, but with the benefit of more modern animation software that allows for more detail and a 16:9 screen ratio, giving so much more scope, color, and depth to everything. And again, it's very violent without actually being violent. These first 3 minutes are a very good sign. Sadly, the cracks start to show immediately after. They changed the intro to reflect the new and more mature season, and I hate it. It's just Jack narrating about how 50 years have passed and he hasn't aged, while generic dramatic music plays under it. If they wanted a more mature sound, do a metal remix of the theme or something. Heck, they retain the original credits music, and it feels so wrong after sitting through the tone this sets. Also, it just feels wrong to hear Jack refer to himself as Samurai Jack, especially since, as many have pointed out, he's more accurately a ronin and or prince, but I guess that doesn't have the same ring to it. The rest of his screen time is basically Jack in PTSD-land, which I get. After so long, yes, his sanity would be deteriorating, especially after what we find happened to his sword. But 1, the episode grinds to a halt 3 times for him to have a freakout, and 2, his hallucinations range from horribly overdramatic to just plain silly. I hate that I'm saying this, but the mental trauma in VELMA had more impact in relation to the plot and characters. And it ends things with a fight against the musical-themed robot assassin Scaramouche, which I don't like as much as the beginning fight. The animation's more fluid than the original series, and that's the problem. There's basically no sense of weight or dynamic composure. Nothing feels as impactful or visually appealing as the original fight. So ironically, by showing more, they're showing less. Not helping is that Scaramouche is incredibly annoying and just gets worse later. In fact, the fight just gives up. Scaramouche, for no reason, just stands there and lets Jack throw an exploding knife at him, then suddenly Jack has the assassin's sword and uses it to cleave them in half while they don't even move. I had to watch this scene from a couple different sources. I was convinced the one I'm using cut something out, but no, that's just how it's edited. Even the way the oil flows out of him just looks ridiculous. And while all this is going on, we also see the birth and life of the literal daughters of a coup, all conceived and trained specifically to destroy Jack. Though one of them seems to show conscience, and yeah, with these little kids getting brutalized, this is where the show first demonstrates its more mature rating. Though this does have the best visuals of the episode, so while I can tell they tried, they worked their fingers to the bone and exhausted themselves to make this season, this is not a good beginning or sign of things to come, which, spoilers, are just gonna get worse. Also, this dominatrix trainer be thick!